Let's be honest, most agents dread cold calling. You got the sweaty palms, that pit that's in your stomach, the thought of someone hanging up on you mid-sentence. I get it. I was there. Rejection stings. But here's the truth. Cold calling is still one of the fastest, most direct ways to fill your pipeline, as long as you do it right. Today I'm going to break down exactly how to overcome that fear and turn the phone into your most powerful business building tool. What's up guys, Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, and if you want my direct help and support for free, click the link in the description below and let's start talking about taking your business to the next level. To better understand this, we first have to look at why agents fear cold calling. There's the fear of rejection, being hung up on, or even getting yelled at. I've had all three of those happen. There's the feeling of being pushy or, too salesy going on. You get that used car salesman vibe. And as soon as you have that mentality, you are dead in the water with cold calling. And then there's also not knowing what to say or even freezing up if you get an objection and you start doing the again, you're dead in the water. All those things are fears that every one of us has. Every one of us has gone through it. Everyone learned how to overcome it who start becoming these cold calling masters, such as myself. You kind of have to shift your mindset though. Instead of thinking like fear of rejection or being hung up on, these are people that don't even know you. They don't care if anything bad happens to you the moment you get off the phone with them. They have no idea who you are. The thing you need to realize is that for every no, you are one person closer to that yes. And I'm telling you right now, when you get that yes, you're just going to be like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It's one of the best feelings in the world, especially that first yes that you get to set that appointment. But it really boils down to your mindset of things. You got to throw out the I'm a salesy person. Start sitting there saying, I am here to help this person. I am going to help solve this person's problem. I am going to, make cold calls. I will succeed at cold calls. It's all about mindset of how to start. And when you go through getting ready for it, you have to prepare. I still sit there and prepare myself every single day before I end up making cold calls. I warm up my voice and I treat it personally like I'm talking to one of my family members and establishing the relationship. And instead of saying do you want to sell your house? You got to go into the mindset of asking questions. Depending on who you are talking to, you got to provide value to them. But you got to do your research first. So if you're going for expireds, yes, there's ways to throw it into a dialer like RedX, what I use, and you'll fire through rapid fire of getting through all these numbers and getting closer to that yes. But you also have to know the property that you're calling. And you also have to make sure that the expired you are calling is 100% not under contract, because sometimes it'll say expired, but then you look at the history on your MLS and it's going to show that there's a new listing that's in place with a previous agent that they were working with or a different agent. If you're going to call FSBOs, have everything geared up, ready to go for them. Do your research on the property. Do not go to FSBOs and automatically be that pushy salesman. They're a little bit more difficult to convert, and I will go over that in a different video, but you have to do your research on them. And then even if you're doing farming, research the neighborhood, know how quickly homes are selling, know the price point of the homes, know which ones are gonna do better if it's like a colonial, a bi-level, a split. You need to know all that information because that information, that knowledge is going to cause you to respond much faster. The conversation is going to flow better, and they're going to look at you and they're going to hear that you are a professional rather than stuttering through your words and having that, As soon as they hear that, they know you are not a professional at what you do. But you have to know the value as well. Always bring value. The days of calling up somebody and just being like, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, would you like to sell your house? You don't know me, but can you sell your house for me so I can get a commission check? That's not cutting it anymore. You need to provide value. Whether you go through and offer up a home evaluation, if there's a recent sold, and for that you want to pick out something that sold either at list or maybe a little bit higher. And you could use that as an example just to farm a specific neighborhood that you want to get involved in. It's things like that to provide value. For the expireds, you want to ask question after question and pretty much just look at it as, why didn't the house sell? Because a lot of these homes, they didn't sell because of possible strategy from their previous agent, or it was overpriced and they either knew about it or didn't know about it. But a home's going to sell, and it's technically not us that sells it. The home will sell itself. But you need to know exactly what is going on and have all of this research ready to go as another tool in your belt so you can sound confident and like a professional when you do make those phone calls. And going through and changing your mindset, acknowledging the fears that you have, whether it is rejection, whether it's not having a script, acknowledging that stuff, doing your research, and having that positive shift in your mindset, that is how you overcome the fear. And if you keep telling yourself that you're going to make calls and you don't, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to take that much longer to push yourself past that limit. It's time that you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, is how you need to look at it. Now, as far as looking at like the anatomy of what a great call is going to detail, it's going to be possibly 10 questions deep, no matter who you are calling. Let them talk. You ask the questions, and you just want to open it up. Super easy. Like, even if you're calling unexpired, hey, Mr. Smith, hey, this is just Anthony Esposito with EXP. I'm a local agent in the area, and I was on the MLS, and I saw that your home, it came off market, and I'm kind of confused why that didn't sell. There's an opening line. Another one that I do like to use and add in there, which I was taught by one of my coaches, is asking them like how their day went, just to start the conversation. Ask how their day's going so far, and you want to say, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but that is basically starting the conversation. It's letting them know that you're aware that their time is valuable, but it's also initiating a true conversation. And you want to make it to where you're asking the right questions, you're flowing. Everybody always says, I got the perfect script. I got the perfect script. Scripts are great to learn from. Don't get me wrong. You cannot read these things word for word. You read them word for word and you're just going to sound like a robot going through. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty. I hope you're having a great day. It's not going to flow. It is impossible to flow. Take those scripts, read them yourself, and implement the way you talk. Little bonus tip for you. You could have these conversations with ChatGPT if you don't have anybody to role play with. You could role play with ChatGPT and actually talk to it. It has a speaker on your computer, your phone, whatever. It's going to respond. It's going to throw objections at you if you want. Little bonus tidbit for you. But you want to keep the conversation flowing. And you want to get it to a point to where you have them essentially start talking about when they are looking to buy or sell. And ask them outright. Once you start going a few questions deep, if they have kids, ask them how school's going. If they're talking about, sitting for a little bit longer, ask them, what exactly has you waiting this time around? Or, where's your plans after you do end up, getting into the market? Where are you looking to go? What's your timeline? You ask all these questions, and by the end of going, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions deep, you will get an email from them if you don't already have it. It's not that difficult. It's not rocket science by any means. And if someone is very rude and say they're just like, why are you calling me? Don't call me. Just brush it off. You tell them, have a great day. Sorry to disturb you. Hope you have a wonderful day. And a lot of times, some of the most rude people you talk to end up being your best client you will ever have, which is crazy to me. And, if you're getting one of those people that are being rude, it's going to throw you off your game. I'm going to let you know right now. It takes repetition. It's going to throw you completely off. And you're going to go from sounding confident, professional, to all of a sudden you're going to be like, and you're going to start freezing up. It's okay. Just let that conversation go. There's 100% of people you talk to, you're only working with 30% of them anyways. That's statistical. Just brush it off. Before you make the next call or before the dialer makes the next call, pause. Take a few deep breaths through your stomach and you just recenter yourself. Again, this is all about mindset. There is so much involved. As long as you keep that positive mindset, you're going to breeze through this stuff, no problem. Don't look at it as, I got to make calls. Look at it as, I'm about to build my business. Here we go. I'm going to get another no, which means I'm going to have that much closer to a yes. You change your mindset to that, and I guarantee you will start making those calls like it was nothing. Now, when it comes to your energy, make sure you are upbeat. Don't make cold calls when you're dead tired. Because if you're dead tired, it's going to show, because then you're going to be very monotone. You're not going to be happy-go-lucky. It's going to be, hey, I just saw your house was on the market, or I'm making calls around the neighborhood. And if you're monotone, I get it. You're going to find people that are going to work with you. 30% of the people that you talk to are going to end up working with you because they're going to find out you're a great person. It's just you're a monotone person. But try to have more energy. That's why a lot of these coaches, they always talk about making cold calls in the morning rather than later in the day, because by the later end of the day, not only do a lot of us, we have showings, but we're also kind of just dead ass tired and ready to call it quits. Now, where it really comes into play, especially if you're going after, the low hanging fruit like expireds, FSBOs, it's all about follow-up. Follow-up is where you win the game. Most agents, they make a call, they're done. That's it. Even a text, they're done. One and done, move off, they never talk to that person again. When it takes it could be anywhere from 5 to 12 touches before you even get somebody to say yes. So it's not going to come from the first call in the majority, especially like fresh expireds, fresh FSBOs. You're not converting those 9 times out of 10 right on the first call. FSBOs are going to take a little bit longer time. Expireds, they typically like to wear down a little bit and get out of that, feeling of frustration and just essentially being pissed off because their house didn't sell, whatever the case may be. And you just got to build a simple system for your follow-ups. Whether it's calling, texting, email, if you got their email, and again, AI can do it all for you. It's super easy. You just got to tell it to do it for you. You put all this stuff in your calendar. You can put it in your CRM. Your CRM can task you, but I know there's a lot of agents that don't understand and they don't want to learn how to properly use the CRM. Just throw it in your calendar really quick. It takes seconds, whether you're on Apple or Android. Just tell Siri or Google to do what they need to do and set a reminder at this time for this day and get that system in place. Like if someone tells you that they're going to move in 6 months, you better be calling them in 3 months. Cut everything in half when they tell you a time frame. Everything. I don't even care if they say 3 weeks. You call them in a week. Plain and simple. Because it happens to the best of us. We've waited. And all of a sudden, we call them, we make contact, and it's, oh, I'm sorry, I already bought a house. It's happened to me quite a few times. Not fun. But that's where it's at, is in the follow-up of stuff. That is going to get you your business. Now, as far as the best times to call, expireds, you want to try and get those early. 8 and 11 a.m. I find is the best time frame to really hit them, especially the fresh expireds. Older expireds, it's a little bit different. If you're doing like general cold calling, like farming, you want to hit mid-morning, push it to 9, go to like 9 to 11, 9 to 12, and even late afternoon, 4 to 6, believe it or not. And statistically, what they found is that Wednesdays and Thursdays are actually the best days. They will outperform Mondays and Fridays all day long. So Wednesday and Thursday is your golden days to really make these cold calls. And you have to track your system. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know your numbers. How many calls is it going to take for you to end up landing somebody, of getting that yes? You got to know how many people you're calling per day. Break everything down, track it. You could use a simple system of having, 2 cups and take paper clips, fill it with one, and just move a paper clip over. Something like that. That is going to progress not only your brain of saying, hey, I'm accomplishing something, but it's also going to let you know it's quick and easy, especially with these dialers that are just rolling through the numbers. It's quick and easy to end up, pinpointing what you got. And if you got like Red X like me, it's going to track how many calls you made. It's going to track how many conversations you had, all sorts of stuff. You could put notes in them. It tracks a lot of different things. But I also find that actually either like marking down a slash or moving an object from one cup to another, that actually, it gives me more of a sense of accomplishment rather than the computer just tallying it up. I don't know why. It's just, it's very weird with the way our brains can work. But, here's the deal. If you're ready to not just, beat the cold calling fear, but you want to build an actual real estate business with leads coming straight to you, I have systems in place that I can get you with Social Agent Academy, AI Agent Accelerator, CRM, coaching from Joshua Smith, who is top 1% in the world. If you want to know what it would look like with partnering with me over at the Wolfpack and having a co-sponsorship with Joshua Smith, just click the link in the description, book that 30-minute call with me. I'm happy to see where you're at, see how I can help you, see how the Wolfpack can benefit you in building your business and really taking it to that next level with training and systems and tools like no other brokerage has. Be sure to click that link and book that call.